The city streets were alive that afternoon, horns honking, people rushing, bags in hand, eyes glued to glowing phone screens. It was just another day where everyone was too busy, too distracted, too focused on themselves to notice anyone else. But in the middle of that crowd was someone who didn't belong. An elderly woman, her steps unsteady, her hands trembling as she clutched a worn-out purse against her chest. Her gray hair was messy, her clothes plain and wrinkled. She looked around with panic in her eyes, as if the world had suddenly become too loud, too overwhelming. People passed by her without a second glance. Some noticed but quickly turned away. A couple of teenagers laughed quietly, whispering that she must be crazy. One man muttered under his breath, "Another homeless person," and walked off, shaking his head. To the busy crowd, she was invisible. But to one person she wasn't. A young black teenager, maybe 16, stopped walking. He wore a faded hoodie, his backpack slung lazily over one shoulder, sneakers worn out from too many miles. Something about the woman caught his attention, not her clothes, not her age, but the fear in her eyes. He saw the way her lips trembled as she whispered to herself, the way her body shook slightly as if she didn't know where to go. He hesitated for a moment. After all, he was just a kid. What could he do? But then he remembered something his mother once told him. Kindness doesn't need money. Sometimes it only takes a hand. So, he stepped forward. "Ma'am?" he said gently, careful not to startle her. "Are you okay? Do you need some help?" The woman looked up, surprised. For hours, no one had spoken to her except with cold stares or judgment. She blinked, unsure if she should trust him, but something about his voice, calm, respectful, sincere, broke through her fear. I can't find my way home," she whispered, her voice shaky. Without hesitation, he smiled softly. "Don't worry, I'll help you. Where do you live?" She gave him an address, and he pulled out his old phone to check the map. It wasn't far. He offered her his hand, and slowly she reached for it. For the first time all day, she felt safe. Together, they began to walk. People on the street watched in silence, some confused, some ashamed. They had ignored her, brushed past her, laughed at her. But a teenager, a boy many of them might have judged for his skin color, his hoodie, his age, was the only one who showed her kindness. What no one knew was that this woman wasn't just an old lady struggling on the street. She was a billionaire, a powerful businesswoman who had built an empire. But wealth can't stop time, and age spares no one. In that moment, she wasn't a billionaire, she wasn't powerful, she was just human. And it wasn't her money that mattered, but the kindness of a stranger. Later, she would reveal her identity, and the world would learn that while money can build empires, it takes compassion to touch a soul.